Imagine an electric car that only needs to be charged twice a month. Sounds far-fetched? Well, that's exactly what Elon Musk just put on the table. Tesla is about to change the game with a new generation of solid-state batteries. Forget everything you've heard about range, recharge time, or premature wear. The proposal now is to store up to 5 times more energy than conventional lithium-ion batteries, and all this with a safer, more compact, and surprisingly efficient system. The promise is no longer science fiction. 1,000 miles per charge, with a full recharge in 10 minutes. That's so far-fetched it almost seems like a joke. The difference lies in the battery's core, the electrolyte. Current batteries use a flammable liquid that separates the anode from the cathode and allows ions to move. The problem? This liquid requires multiple layers of protection, takes up more space, and also poses a risk of overheating and fire. Solid-state batteries, on the other hand, use a solid electrolyte, which can be ceramic, polymer, or another conductive compound, which not only eliminates the risk of leakage, but also allows for a denser, more compact structure. This allows for more energy to be stored without increasing the battery's size. But, perhaps, the most intriguing point is the use of metallic lithium in the anode. This change, which is only possible thanks to the solid electrolyte, is like swapping a leaky bucket for a stainless steel reservoir. While the graphite or silicon currently used accommodate far fewer ions, metallic lithium can store almost 10 times more. And we're not talking about an experimental concept locked away in a laboratory. Tesla has already demonstrated practical feasibility and is about to bring this revolution to the streets. The engineering behind it is so efficient that there's no wasted space on extra separators or useless fillers. If you're wondering how all this translates in practice, the answer is simple: more range and less time spent plugging in. While today, it's still common to see drivers waiting 30 or 40 minutes for an 80% charge, with solid-state batteries that number can drop to 10 minutes. What once required a coffee break and an entire podcast now only requires time to stretch your legs and get back on the road. This completely changes the experience of owning an electric car. It's not just a technical improvement, but a leap in usability that can attract even the most skeptical drivers. Another interesting detail is energy density. With this new technology, the battery doesn't need to be bigger to deliver more. Density jumps from $250 in current cells to up to $600 with the solid-state version. In other words, a car of the same size can travel almost twice as far. Or, if you prefer, the car can be lighter and maintain the same range. This creates new possibilities for design, performance, and even cost reduction in the future. It's the kind of gain you don't see every day in any industry, let alone one as advanced as EVs. Many people doubt the stability of these innovations, but the truth is that solid electrolytes are much more resistant to temperature and pressure variations. They don't ignite, don't evaporate, and withstand intensive use better. This makes the system as a whole more reliable, essential for a product that will be sold en masse and needs to function equally well in sunny California or in the Canadian winter. Standardizing results also facilitates quality testing and maintenance over time, reducing risks for the end consumer. This technological leap didn't happen overnight either. Years of internal research and acquisitions of specialized startups were needed to make this dream possible. Interestingly, while other automakers insist on releasing futuristic prototypes and ever more distant deadlines, Tesla chose the opposite approach: absolute silence and hands-on development. What we see now is the result of secret testing, silent pilots, and progressive adjustments to production design. No PowerPoint promises. This is all about the factory floor and real results. And it doesn't stop there. Solid-state batteries also pave the way for more natural integration with the rest of the vehicle. This means more than just performance. We're talking about a paradigm shift that impacts everything from car design to driver behavior. Tesla is about to turn a technological limitation into a competitive advantage. And if everything continues as expected, the coming years will present the automotive industry with a revolution no one will be able to ignore. Charging speed has always been one of the Achilles heels of electric cars. Even though range has increased, the wait for a recharge still keeps many people from the energy transition. With solid-state batteries, this obstacle is beginning to wane. Instead of waiting 30 minutes or more, the average recharge time can drop to around 10 to 15 minutes, a window almost comparable to refueling with gasoline. And this speed isn't the result of magic, but rather a more robust architecture. The solid structure of the electrolyte allows the cell to withstand higher currents without generating excessive heat, which speeds up the entire process. Besides being fast, the new technology is incredibly safe. You know that fear of the battery overheating or, worse yet, catching fire? With liquid-based batteries, this risk exists, which is why several protection and cooling systems are used. With solid-state batteries, the risk of combustion is virtually zero. Because the solid electrolyte is non-flammable, it acts almost like a natural heat shield. This means that even under thermal stress or in accidents, the chances of catastrophic failure are drastically reduced. This means safety not only for the car, but for the driver and everyone around them. Another notable point is durability. Today, a lithium-ion battery begins to significantly lose performance after 1,000 to 1,500 charge cycles, which, in practice, represents 6 to 8 years of regular use. The new generation of solid-state batteries completely changes this scenario. Tests show that these batteries can maintain over 90% of their original capacity even after 3,000 cycles. This equates to between 15 and 20 years of use before showing a noticeable drop in range. For those considering investing in an EV, this news changes everything. It's no longer necessary to change cars because of the battery. And the impact isn't just on technical durability, but also on your wallet. The longer the battery lasts, the higher the vehicle's resale value. And with less degradation over the years, the owner doesn't have to worry about expensive replacements or frequent maintenance. This, combined with thermal safety, creates a lower risk profile, which can also directly influence insurance premiums. A battery that doesn't explode, doesn't degrade easily, and still charges quickly is everything the market has been waiting for, and it finally seems to be arriving. There's also a curious side effect. With this technology, user behavior itself can change. Because charging is faster and the range is longer, the anxiety of running out of battery practically disappears. This encourages longer trips, more carefree use, and even less reliance on the public charging network. In other words, the user experience becomes more similar to what they already know from combustion-powered cars, but with all the benefits of an electric car. Technology, in this case, stops being a barrier and becomes an invisible ally. Time is also on Tesla's side. While rival companies are still in their infancy when it comes to safety and reliability testing, Tesla already has an engineering ecosystem geared toward this type of advancement. This allows the company to adapt its current models more quickly and scale production as soon as the technology is ready. And as the EV market grows rapidly, whoever gets ahead with a safer, more durable battery has a huge advantage. Even without promising miracles, this type of development is already putting many competitors on alert. And if durability sounds impressive on paper, imagine the impact in a real-life scenario. An electric taxi, for example, that travels hundreds of kilometers a day could operate for over a decade without needing to replace its battery pack. Similarly, commercial fleets gain in stability and operating costs. The longer lifespan translates into direct savings, and this approach pleases both companies and individual consumers. Either way, the change impacts the entire electric mobility value chain. This combination of performance, safety, and durability is what makes solid-state batteries so desirable. And it's no exaggeration to say they represent a game-changer in the automotive industry. It's not just about going further or charging faster. It's about transforming the relationship between people and their vehicles. An electric car that lasts 20 years without recharging hassles or fears of overheating comes dangerously close to what many people have always dreamed of, a car that takes care of itself. While new batteries promise a leap in range and durability, the way they integrate into the car is also undergoing a revolution. Tesla, which had already been experimenting with structural battery packs, where the cell is part of the vehicle's chassis, now sees solid-state batteries as an opportunity to take this concept even further. What was once a futuristic idea has become a practical solution, eliminating redundant parts, reducing overall weight, and even increasing the car's structural rigidity. Instead of fitting the battery into the car is now molded around it. The beauty of this system lies in its simplicity. Without flammable liquid, there's no need for multiple layers of thermal protection, nor for separate compartments. This significantly reduces the overall volume and weight of the system. It's estimated that, simply by replacing lithium-ion batteries with solid-state batteries, Tesla could save between 10% and 15% of mass per kilowatt of storage. For a 100 kilowatt pack, this represents the weight of 2 adults, which, in itself, improves performance and energy efficiency. Furthermore, by integrating the battery directly into the vehicle's structure, Tesla eliminates heavy components like metal brackets, housings, and insulation boards. Every gram removed from the system means one less gram the car needs to move, which translates into more agile starts, better braking, and more stable cornering. This lightness also opens up space for interior reconfigurations. Lowered seats, larger trunks, more footroom. It's as if the battery no longer feels like dead weight and begins actively contributing to the car's design. The current model that benefits most from this is the Model 3 with a 4680 cell, which already uses some of this structural approach. But solid-state batteries take the idea to a new level. Without the constraints imposed by liquid, the pack design can be fully optimized to take up as little space as possible, with maximum rigidity and safety. This allows for the creation of thinner, more aerodynamic vehicles, and even with a lower center of gravity, something that directly impacts handling, especially when cornering and at high speeds. The impact isn't limited to performance. With fewer components and less assembly complexity, production costs also tend to fall. Fewer parts mean fewer failure points, less maintenance, and less need for replacements or repairs over time. This translates into a lower total cost of ownership, which makes the vehicle more attractive to the end consumer. It's the combination of efficiency and economy, something few innovations can deliver simultaneously. Another detail that goes unnoticed by many is the new system's thermal effect. The absence of liquid not only improves safety, but also reduces the need for active cooling systems such as pumps, fans, or coolant circuits. This further simplifies the car's architecture and contributes to space and weight savings. The less the car has to worry about maintaining temperature control, the more energy it can use directly for locomotion. This structural evolution also opens the door to new types of vehicles. From ultra-compact city cars to rugged pickup trucks and SUVs, all can be redesigned from this lighter, safer, and more flexible base. The technology isn't tied to a specific category. It's modular, adaptable, and promises to benefit everyone from those who simply use their car to commute to those who cross continents behind the wheel. And with the advent of mass production, cost constraints tend to disappear over time. The future of electric mobility, it seems, isn't just about a better battery. It's about how that battery becomes an essential part of the car itself, shaping its structure, performance, and efficiency. Tesla understood this early and is already adjusting its production lines to maximize this synergy. Ultimately, the breakthrough isn't just technical, it's philosophical, transforming the battery from a simple component into the silent protagonist of a whole new generation of vehicles. The promise of an affordable yet advanced electric car has always sounded like a distant dream. But with the Model 2 Redwood, Tesla is preparing a strategic coup that could turn the tide once and for all. At an estimated price of $24,999, the vehicle boasts specifications that rival any competitor in the same price range. The cherry on top? The use of a solid-state battery. This decision not only guarantees a range that rivals more expensive models, but also offers a recharge time almost as fast as filling up a tank of gas. The cost-benefit ratio is so unbalanced that many analysts are having trouble believing it's realistic. The projected range is 600 to 700 miles, which equates to approximately 965 to 1,125 kilometers on a single charge. This is more than enough for interstate travel without the slightest concern for charging points. Imagine leaving São Paulo and arriving in Rio back and forth without needing to plug the car into a socket. In an entry-level model, this isn't just an innovation. It's a direct challenge to the combustion-powered vehicles that still dominate the base of the automotive pyramid. For many drivers, this represents true freedom, without compromise, without adaptations, without stress. Recharging time is also a striking difference. The Redwood can go from 10% to 80% in less than 15 minutes. And the detail few notice is that, unlike liquid batteries, which slow down as they approach full charge, solid-state batteries maintain a steady pace. This eliminates the frustration of being in a rush and seeing the charging speed drop right at the last 20%. This consistency completely transforms charging logistics and makes stopping at a Tesla station more like a pit stop than a long break. Another technical advantage that puts Redwood ahead is the battery's thermal performance. While liquid cells have very narrow ideal temperature ranges, solid cells operate comfortably between 20 degrees and 100 degrees C. This means the car won't suffer performance losses due to the cold of a European winter or the extreme heat of the Nevada desert. This climate resistance is especially useful for fleet operators, ride-hailing drivers, and anyone who uses their car intensively in a variety of environments. It doesn't matter if the day is freezing or scorching, Redwood will deliver results regardless. Interestingly, even with so much onboard technology, the Model 2 Redwood is still considered an entry-level car. This raises an inevitable question. How did Tesla balance price and innovation? The answer lies in a series of discrete but effective optimizations. From the simplified body design to the adoption of Gigapress molded parts, everything was designed to cut costs without compromising the experience. And with the savings generated by the new battery's lightness and durability, it's easier to offer a competitive product without sacrificing profit margins. From a commercial perspective, the Redwood arrives at a strategic moment.